Welcome to Destination Charging, a podcast by Powerdot, your insight into the future of sustainable mobility. Join us as we explore the different perspectives of those who are accelerating the world towards a greener future.
Well, welcome to Destination Charging, a podcast by Powerdot. My name is Carlos Gomes, and I'm currently running the data side of things here at Powerdot. As one of the largest pan-European EV charging operators, we have a unique perspective on the industry. We see both the challenges and the opportunities that regulators, charging point operators, our partners, and users face daily. And we also see the innovative solutions each of these players come up with. For those who don't know us, our mission here at Powerdot is to accelerate sustainable mobility. And with these conversations, we want to share insights, demystify misconceptions, clarify any questions, and hopefully show how electric mobility is a way to move forward. Today, we have with us Eric Plaquet, CEO of Gireve. Bonjour, Eric. Thank you very much for taking the time to be here today with us, and welcome to Destination Charging Podcast.
Thank you, Carlos. Nice talking to you.
So we at Powerdot see that Gireve plays a very important role in the EV ecosystem by enabling interoperability among different charging networks across Europe. But perhaps you can explain this a little bit better with more detail and explain us what's Gireve's mission and how it's helping to shape the future of EV charging networks.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Eric Plaquet. I'm CEO of Gireve. My DNA is business, finance, merger and acquisition. I spent many years developing new business and creating partnerships in Europe and Asia, and more than 20 years in the EV segment through working at niche car OEMs and also in car engineering. In Europe and in China, where the enormous efforts have been put in EV development within the last 2 decades. I've also been involved in software and data business, partly in the autonomous driving system sector. And autonomous vehicles, as you know, are often EV as well. So it's not surprising that I end up at Gireve, because Gireve is kind of a mix between EV and software and data business. In fact, Gireve is kind of a digital immaterial infrastructure in the EV charging ecosystem. So what do we do? What was the initial idea with Gireve? The original idea was very simple. To develop e-mobility, you need cars, you need EVs, but not only, obviously you also need charging points, but it's still not enough. And at the end of the day, there is a need for a whole ecosystem of solutions, some of them involving software and data players. From the end customer standpoint, EMSPs are useful. They are usefully completing CPO solutions. Roaming and interoperability, as we will discuss later, are key. So we needed to provide the ecosystem with an immaterial infrastructure that would interconnect all players, all B2B players, and support the IT data-related challenges to make roaming possible. From that point forward, we created a central platform enabling B2B players to easily manage contractual relationships, to create IT connections, to process transactions based on charging sessions, to promote standards, and act as a trusted third party in this market. So such positioning, is obviously not visible by the end user. Same as platforms like Amadeus or Saab in the travel industry. Maybe you know them. And as such, what we do is we are creating a big acceleration in e-mobility development, involving hundreds of B2B players in many countries. So now this model is proven, that central market platform. We see more than maybe 100 million charging sessions every year happening. We're working with most CPOs and EMSPs all over Europe, connecting charging charging points accessible by the public, the number of which is growing at high pace everywhere. We are processing now billions of IT requests every month, and creating new services, participating in public and private initiatives, designing future intermediations, innovations, governance, regulations, and so on.
This is fascinating, both your career path, Eric, until you got to Gireve, and also the kind of work that you're developing here at the company. So you're both working for the users by creating a better accessibility to the networks, but it's also very important for the businesses, the type of work that you're developing, because you simplify a lot of these contractual relationships. So how do you see this role of Gireve evolving as EV adoption increases, both in terms of facilitating access and simplifying the processes for the businesses?
Okay, we're concerned with focused on interoperability. Interoperability means that two different systems can communicate together. So this means multiple IT connections, massive data aggregation, cleaning, circulating, and a lot of monitoring, troubleshooting, and so on. For the end user, the idea behind interoperability is very simple. With one single subscription to a mobility offer, meaning one badge, one app, you can access all charging stations everywhere, and get a single invoice at the end. So interoperability enables roaming at the end of the day. And Gireve main role is to develop roaming. We believe in open standards, in interoperability, collaboration between partners, to boost the market and to facilitate charging for end users. And as our ecosystem reaches maturity, we see more and more importance of the importance of interoperability. In early days, everyone wanted to control 100% of the user journey. EMSPs were not that popular, not that welcome. Interoperability was not an option. So you had, maybe you remember, you had to carry 20 network cards in your wallet to be able to charge when traveling. Then the players started creating peer-to-peer agreements and IT data connections between one another to ramp up the quality of the user journey. Afterwards, it appeared that such peer-to-peer model was not quite scalable, and the platforms started to come and play its part. Which means what we do is we enable to manage one-to-end contracts and to open one-to-end IT data flows, processing an exponentially growing amount of data and transactions. Now, what we see is the market is no longer an early adopters market. The need for interoperability is a no-brainer now, and everybody feels the need to do it better, to prioritize user experience, quality, price transparency. One idea at the moment is to better control your B2B counterparts by creating peer-to-peer agreements with a limited number of counterparts, each representing big transaction volumes, and at the same time providing a minimum level of quality and reactivity. You see other ideas like another option is trying to generalize direct payment, for instance, which is supposedly simplifying the user journey, but is also at the same time leaving aside a lot of disadvantages or limitations going with direct payments. And in practice, what we see now is things are not that binary. There's no reason to believe in one business model and the exclusion of the others. Reaching maturity, the players tend to see what needs to be delivered by every actor in this value chain. And I think we will have reached higher maturity when everybody understands that For instance, a direct payment option is welcome to ensure that the end user is not forced to enter into a subscription contract to access public charging networks in the first place, but that it doesn't make a lot of sense to impose 100% direct payment solutions. Everybody tends to identify now the solutions in which the platform has to invest, as opposed to those which need to be developed by the CPOs and EMSPs themselves in peer-to-peer mode. So we need to focus on scalability, cost, quality, reliability, security, and data protection as well. Take into account the role of the platform when it comes to standardization, also transparency, accessibility, and the need of a trusted third party. And keep in mind the expected quality at the end, at user level.
Of course,
end user level.
The user experience.
So if you want examples of this, for instance, you got many topics behind this. Do we want to invest in clearing thousands of dispute items between hundreds of counterparts and the related mess in invoicing, credit notes? Or do we wish that one trusted third party takes charge of this action using effective automatized solutions based on clear and agreed principles? So what we see at Gireve, I will finish with this as far as our challenges is concerned, is we must not regard our positioning at conceptual level, meaning be a platform, enable one-to-end connections, as sufficient. What we need to do is constantly bring value, adding features, keep talking with our customers to explore how we can generate quality, productivity, provide insights, thus benefiting the global ecosystem. This is what we do with, I believe, with PowerPoint teams. There is a constant and positive and win-win cooperation.
Definitely. And I think one of the keywords that you mentioned a couple of times is the scalability, because it really take a lot of the burden on developing direct integrations or the invoicing to the direct customer by supplying this kind of services and capabilities through Gireve. So I think you answered one of my questions already, which was interoperability, what it is, and how is it so important for the EV sector. So I think this was well defined in what you just described. You also mentioned some of the challenges, but I would like to explore a little bit more about the challenges as the business and as the EV market is growing, the number of charging point operators are growing, the number of operators is also growing. So this scalability that you offer is also a big challenge to you, not only in terms of computation, data flows, but also standards, protocols. There are a few in the industry, and what is Gireve's role into ascertain that those are being fulfilled to avoid any kind of miscommunications and problems in terms of the communication between the CPOs, charging point operators, and the roaming platform that you are?
Yeah. Well, to some extent, I'd say our role, our challenges are quite consistent with those of the market itself. Because we, as I said, we are a central key immaterial infrastructure. So this means that we are impacted, in fact, by all issues and problems and needs, trends, innovations. Yes, we played a key role in, as you say, in massively aggregating and circulating static and dynamic data through the players. We accelerated EV adoption by bringing interoperability to scale. We are also kind of helping providing a transparent and easy access to CPOs and EMSPs. It's easy for everybody to connect to Gireve and then to access the whole ecosystem of EV charging. We foster accessibility, and we believe to some extent that we also foster free competition between B2B players, which is beneficial to the end user at the end of the day. Obviously, more than monopoles and lock-in systems. Now we see that people are less and less concerned about finding a charging point, because you got more and more, the meshing is better and better. And now there's more and more sensitivity to availability of the recharge, to quality, seamless experience, price transparency. Contrary to, but to some extent, contrary to the bad buzz you can spot here or there, what we see at Gireve is that people are getting more and more familiar with e-mobility, and they are adapting their behavior and charging strategies. They're getting used to EV charging in what way. So we need to adapt to what the people want to do. As an example, destination charging, which is something in which you believe in at Powerdot, keeps developing, and this just reflects the way people adapt their uses.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned user behavior, and of course, here at Powerdot, we're very keen into understanding how users behave and what they want. And as you just mentioned, destination charging is our thesis. We believe that people should charge where they already are going. How do you see destination charging playing a role in the daily lives of EV users from your perspective?
Yeah. Well, destination charging is key, and I think it's a good example of how reality kind of disproves some of the preconceived ideas. Like the old thesis of an e-mobility journey doomed to be consistent in every possible dimension with the good old gasoline refill model. Find a petrol station, refuel 100%, pay by credit card, and so on. And what we see with destination charging is that people are now used to finding recharge everywhere. And by the way, 100% recharge is not the preferred use case. Destination charging is really convenient for it's useful for people who can charge at home, but mainly also because everybody understands that whilst you are doing something else, meaning shopping, working, whatever, it does the job at the same time with no additional effort or concern. So you're not looking for charging, you're charging, but at the same time, you're doing something else. This is really, really key, because you can multiply charging slots in your daily journey. It's even better. It's cool in case the owner offers a discount to attract more visitors. Then it's going to be even cheaper. And what we see is that even people who can charge at home, the guys who are equipped, they have a charger at home. But even in this case, people are using destination charging for different reasons, depending on their personal organization. I myself often compare car charging and human water consumption, habits. When you consider a journey on a one day, you know that you will need water, but finding water is never an objective in itself. The goal for the day is not to go and find water. Your objectives are go to places, do things, so also it doesn't make sense to drink 3 bottles in a row before leaving or when you're back home, and that water drinking question is never an issue, because you know that wherever you go, you will be able to find water in different quantities at different destinations all day long. So this does not mean that it's not convenient to charge at the petrol station on the motorway. Doesn't mean that it's not relevant to develop home charging. It just says that the consumer's point of view matters, and at the end of the day, the end user is looking for freedom and for adapted solutions to their to their chosen living modes.
I love the water analogy, and I think it's all about the convenience that destination charging offers. We're not trying to detour from going to A to B to drink water or to charge our car. We stop and we drink or we charge the car because it's already there. We take the opportunity, and it's very clear how Gireve's work in roaming interoperability is connected to our Powerdot thesis of destination charging. It's all about convenience. It's all about the seamless experience of parking the car and just charge because it works, because it's interconnected. I don't need to have the 5 or 20 cars that I had to have in the past.
Sure.
So that's also very clear. And very recently in Gireve's study, you recognize Powerdot as one of the leading charging networks in France. What role do you think destination charging has played in this growth story, and how do you see it contributing to Powerdot's future?
Yes, you're talking about the fast charging study that we published last September.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're conducting monthly studies like this at Gireve based on our experience and knowledge of the players and the market and our data, the data that we aggregate and circulate. And last September, we looked at the evolution of the fast charging landscape over the past 7 months. And it appeared that Powerdot became the first network in terms of number of fast charging points installed in France. As we mentioned in our study, this shows the evolution of destination charging because the retail focused charging operators were in fact the ones experiencing the most important growth. So as we say in this study, Powerdot focuses on destination charging and deploys its infrastructure on retail locations such as supermarkets, banks, malls, shopping malls, whatever, while others are more focused on en route needs and deploying infrastructure mainly on highways. So what we see is that retail locations are more and more becoming key hubs for EV charging. Obviously, because they are offering charging services as an added value for their consumers to come and visit them and purchase their products or services. But yes, definitely, there's a big trend of retail locations developing, and I guess in this respect, Powerdot made the right choice.
Yeah, it's a great synergy to be developing. As you said, it's added value for them, and it's a great service that we provide to the customers. So if we zoom out now and we think about the old EV market, particularly in Europe where we are, how do you describe the current state of the EV market, and where do you see it going in the next couple of years, five years, for example?
Okay. What we see is that obviously it's growing fast, but there is still room for continuous growth as far as the number of charging stations is concerned, and the meshing becoming better and better in all kinds of types of locations, I'd say. Some of the trends we already discussed, we're seeing now will go on in the near future. So, as I said, I believe in destination charging. Fast charging will go on developing as well. What we see is HDV coming with the same players, some new players also entering the CPO and EMSP market. Some dimensions in HDV chargings are exactly the same as what we've already discussed. Other issues or concerns or challenges are new. As we said, hot topics are now related to quality, user experience, and price, and with the end consumer at the center of the picture. I would say this is not surprising at a point when this market is coming to scale. So we believe that there will be in the future a stronger and stronger interface between grid and mobility, fostered by digitalization, by AI, and continuous innovation. This ecosystem is not quite mature, and there's still room for big innovation, I'd say.
Okay, so would you say that these kind of opportunities and this uh, evolution of the market is currently is already shaping Gireve's focus? How are you preparing for this future vehicle?
Yes, we need to prepare for this future. For instance, talking about the interface between grid and mobility, we need to prepare for smart charging. There are plenty of smart charging use cases, the V2G as well. So this will become part of our life, and so in these fields, we need to, as far as Europe is concerned, to play the same part as we play today in roaming, which means act as a central player, aggregate and circulate data, make provisions, facilitate transactions, facilitate value split between players, and so on, contracting contracts between player easily, one-to-end connections, and so on. So those kind of challenges, which we already experience, we will experience tomorrow with smart charging use cases. I'd say that added value and quality from the customer point of view will remain a top priority around a seamless user journey. For instance, a good illustration here is the rise of the plug and charge mode. Sorry, plug and charge means you just have to plug the connector, and you need no badge, no card, no app. You just plug, you charge, and you go. By the way, this illustrates the idea that it's not relevant to force the players to use credit cards for simplifying purposes, because plug and charge, in fact, is even simpler than direct payment. You don't even have to get your credit card. We will see, we will need to prepare to exponential data exchanges, database processes with continuous adaptation from private players as well as regulatory bodies. So as an immaterial infrastructure, we're impacted by every innovation in the intermediation, contracting, transaction area. For instance, I was talking about HDV. We will need to apply reservation for HDV more than with light vehicles. Dynamic prices. We need to prepare to see more and more dynamic prices. So whatever evolution from end user point of view, we need to adapt that at Gireve. A long time we have developed as a massive data aggregator as well. And I can tell you, we'll go on come out with data-based products, data-based solutions. What we've done also is being at the center of the ecosystem and connected to everybody, processing, aggregating data, participating in innovations, governance, regulations. We decided several years ago to launch a niche advisory activity. Now it's developing very fast, and we'll keep on developing insights and assistance to our customers in the future. And I guess as far as the ecosystem is concerned, there will be a constant need to put the customer at the center of the picture, foster cooperation between players to enhance quality of the global charging process. When it comes to public players, we surely need to avoid over-regulations, counterproductive measures to ensure consistency and permanence of policies in time. So avoid over-regulation, but still create the conditions for free competition, transparency, accessibility, and consumer protection, I'd say.
Yeah, I think you really hit the spot when you say that we need to continue to put the customer, the user, at the center of everything, because at the end, it's them we're serving, and it's them who should feel all the benefits of what we're doing and what you are doing as well. So, Eric, I don't have any other questions at the moment for you. So I'd like to thank you very much for being with us, taking the time to share your insights and talk about your journey, Gireves, and I hope to see you again in the future.
Thank you, Carlos. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much, Eric.
Thank you for listening to Destination Charging. For more insights and to stay connected with our mission to accelerate sustainable mobility, please visit our show notes for links and further resources. Don't forget to review and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Until next time, and keep moving forward with Destination Charging.